All right, this is it. Thanks, chat, for being here. We're ready to go in 3, 2, 1.
People, I am looking for a wonderful woman, not guys. I am not gay. I have nothing against gays. I love the female.
Are you sure?
The morning stream, desperately working off a pile of parking lot tacos since 2011.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to TMS. Yes, we were off for a couple of episodes. Yes, you missed us, didn't you? You missed us terribly. But we've wandered back into the home, and you've said, welcome back. You're welcome here anytime. Have a seat. Enjoy your breakfast. Blah.
Please rinse your bowl when you're done.
That's right. Don't leave your bowl out, you little shit. We're back. It's me and Brian, and happy day after the 4th of July, everybody. America's Day, you know?
That's right. That's right.
Did you do any kind of
Happy
fireworky
birthday,
business, or did you?
We did not. We went to a party. Man, it sounds like I'm beginning to sing a Lita Ford song, but we went to a party on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Didn't get laid, but we got in a fight.
Oh.
No, it was interesting. Went to a party. Friends of ours that we met through Crazy Neighbor. Actually, the woman is our accountant. She does our taxes every year.
Ooh, partying with
But
the
we've known
accountant.
them.
I like this
But we've known them
idea.
for years before,
Sure.
she started doing our taxes.
Sure.
But it does feel like she knows everything about us.
Probably more than
She
most
knows-
people, right? She knows, well, at least she
Yeah.
knows your financial everything. So there's that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was quite an interesting group. It was maybe a little bit more conservative than the usual groups that we hang out with. We took an Uber there, and because you still have to wear a mask in Uber and Lyft rides, we step out of the car wearing our masks, and everybody at the party turns and stares at us like
Scarlet Letter, man. That's what that is.
Yeah, I described it in our film sec chat as the barroom scene where the jukebox stops playing, it's completely quiet, and everybody is looking at the person who just walked in.
Yeah. I mean, were these as far as give me the T-shirt situation. What kind of T-shirts?
No MAGA hats, but 4 T-shirts that had outlines of machine guns on them saying things like variety is the spice of life, and it had a bunch of different machine guns on it. Or another one that says red, white, and ammo. And it was like 3 different machine guns between the words.
Yeah.
Cardboard cut out the letters freedom across in the front of the yard. And
I'd be tempted to tell the one dude ammo is not a color. I'd be really tempted. It'd be really hard for me not to say
It doesn't
that.
even rhyme. It's
No.
not like they're saying red, white, and chew or something like that, right? It's like somebody who came up with that T-shirt really didn't think too hard. Didn't spend a lot of time on it, but
No.
I did take a lot of everybody's money. We played a card game. The first word is rat, and the second word is a 4-letter slang term for fornicate.
Oh!
And I'll just say that.
Oh! I bet I know what it is.
I'll bet you know what it is too.
Yeah.
So it was. We played a lot of. Well, basically played only that, and I ended up taking about $65-70 from these chuckleheads.
Oh, good. That's at least 70 bullets. Well done.
Yeah, exactly. I've reduced
Yeah,
their next ammo purchase by that much.
Yeah, the capacity for ammo it just dropped. Well, that sounds like fun. We didn't do any kind of fourth specific sort of anything, but I got home from a whole weekend at a family reunion. We did it up here in Park City, about an hour north or west, or when is it? East. Northeast? Anyway, whatever.
Northeast. Yeah, because we drive through there when we come through the Wyoming path. We'll come through Park City on the way.
Yeah, that's the way to go time-wise. Like, that's the direction you're going to want to
go. It is. It's just so dull.
Yeah, it's boring. It's boring as crap. You get to the mountains, everything lightens up, and it's nice. But, the Wyoming part. Nothing wrong with Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got a cool cowboy business going on there. It's great. Keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, you can, if you go through Wyoming, you can actually just put on cruise control, use a belt to lash the steering wheel to the emergency brake, and catch a few Z's on the ride.
That's right. So we did this, and it was great, and it's this great big sort of. Last time we were there, actually, it was about half the size. I don't know what happened, but it exploded during the pandemic. There's a huge bunch of new resort hotels and stuff in this one part of Park City. Some may know it as the Westgate area. I don't know. But anyway, we went up there. My mom and John, and then most of the siblings. I'm trying to think, is anybody we didn't see? Yeah, my brother Matt didn't come up while we were there, so he may still be up there today. I don't know. But anyway, long and short of it, people from Arizona, us, and whatever. Everything went pretty good, except I wanted to say this. When I was a kid growing up, and then in my teens and my 20s and even my 30s, Park City was a reasonably affordable place to go. Now, during all of that time, it was, Sundance Film Festival was a thing, and it still is. And,
right.
and that draws a lot of people here of the hoity and the toity variety, right? And over time... really rich people go up there and build enormous palatial homes on the side of mountains for many millions of dollars and make that their summer home or whatever. Or winter if they like to ski, whatever. They just, that's what they do. So Post Malone's got a place up there, a big monster place. We still haven't seen it. We keep trying to see it, but we don't know where it is. But lots of like record executive people from LA, they have homes up there. Anyway, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And Main Street, which is this old town, part of Park City that used to be the mining town back in the 1800s, is now this like every shop is super hipstery and lots of art and fancy food and all that, right? It's like your historical gentrified little strip thing, and it's beautiful and it's all that. But growing up there and going there all the time, you could afford things. Like food, you could say, "Oh, we'll stop here and get a sandwich. How much is it? Oh, it's like $6.50 to $8 or something. No big deal.
Nothing. Yeah, right.
Not a big deal." Now, I don't know what happened, and it's not just in the last. It's not just pandemic. It's like, I don't know. The last 5 years, they've decided there that people are just going to be fine paying $60 for what they used to pay $10 for. And so, like this pizza place, that's okay. It's not the worst thing. A 10-inch pizza, a little tiny one, 10-inch, and 2 house salads, $65.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's too much. The burgers are like $17, $18 anywhere you go. It doesn't matter where; they're all bad.
That's Vail too. It's but Vail I feel like has been expensive for as long as I've gone there. Yeah. You drive up to the mountains. Vail is a good lunch stop if you leave in the morning after breakfast. Vail is even too early for lunch. I guess if you leave mid-morning, then Vail is a good lunch stop.
Sure.
But they're one of those places where the McDonald's rules of, a Big Mac extra value meal is going to cost you X amount pretty much everywhere you go. The rules don't apply in Vail. No. It's like, how will you be paying for that, sir? Would you like to step into my office and we'll see if we can arrange a...
Yeah, you got to get financing.
No finance, right? Exactly. No interest for the first 12 months. No interest financing on that Big Mac extra value meal.
Yeah, they're like the day before we left. We're like, hey, should we do breakfast at Squatters, which is a small local, but they have a couple of locations. But they're basically a local brewery and they have a pub type thing, Squatters Pub, and they're great. We love them. There's one in Salt Lake we go to, and it's great. The one out here. Or the one in Park City costs more money for some reason. Everything does. And also they were like talking 25 people at this. And I said, really? Are we doing that? And they're like, yeah. And I go, do we need to take out a loan or like maybe some mortgage? Like, what are we doing here? So we didn't do that. We ended up doing something else. But it all went fine. It just felt like one of the more expensive, just the day-to-day part of what you have to expend felt higher than ever there. And we didn't even do like the big alpine slide or any of the expensive like things you do up there. We sort of avoided all of that. But I'm happy to say, like, I got some anti-vaxxers in this particular family group. I got some, some dubious, aliens are taking your taxes or whatever, just stuff. And none of it got out of hand. It was all, I think 1 or 2 tiny mentions, and then we just kind of skipped past it. Like I'm a big believer that one of the founding principles of this country is that you can protest against this country if you feel like you're being wronged. And so I'm personally 100% fine with anybody protesting anywhere about anything, whatever their issue is. I think it's fine. And so when a professional football player or basketball player kneels during the national anthem, it's their right. And that's, they're going to do what they're going to do. And I fully support it, especially because it's downright not violent. And I like that the most.
It's
I like when things are
peaceful
violent.
protest.
Peaceful
Exactly.
protests. I do not like, when people breach the Capitol. I wouldn't call that a peaceful protest. But if you're, have an issue, and even if I very much disagree with your issue, you have every right to protest, and it's one of your fundamental rights in this country. Well, anyway, we were talking about the Suns, and the Suns, the Phoenix Suns, they're going to the playoffs, Brian. First time since 1993. It's a long time since they've been at the playoffs. And I'll tell you, that should have
dance.
Should have been the Utah. That should have been the Jazz. But it's okay. You beat the Clippers. Well done. You took out our nemesis for the year, and now you're in our place. And so fight well for us is all I have to say about that. But the point is, talk to somebody who stopped getting season tickets. They were giant Suns fans, dyed in the wool, loved them, canceled it all, and will never go to another game again because people kneel during the national anthem. And so when someone brings something like that up, you can either engage and go to town, or you can go, so anyway, this weather we're having, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we did a lot of that.
Yes.
We went in with that intent. We knew that if this kind of stuff was going to come up and it felt a little baity or whatever, we were just going to go, wow, okay, well, anyway, wow, first time in 27 years. Anyway, what are we doing for lunch? Like, we're just going to move on.
You almost have to figure out a really good segue topic to not make it obvious. Like if they start bringing up vaccines, you can say, oh, I know, last time prior to 2021 that I had a needle in my arm. Tetanus? Yeah. How do you get tetanus again? Basically.
Well, we did have somebody kept bringing the story up about why they won't get vaccinated. And the story was that they have a nurse friend who her and her husband were vaccinated, and her husband got the Delta variant and died even though he was vaccinated. And so I'm not getting vaccinated. And I said, I wanted to say, well, you know what I wanted to say. But what I said instead was like, oh, that's too bad. It's so sad.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say, you know what 97% effective against means? It doesn't mean 100% guaranteed.
Right,
And
exactly. Yes.
Also, it seems like your chances are higher to get it by not. Anyway, I could have gone for miles on that conversation. Instead, I was like, oh, man, that's so bad. It's too bad. I hope she's doing okay.
Yeah, and that's the right thing. It's like, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. So, not too bad, though. For the most part, okay. Yeah. Played a lot of Rock Runners with my proof deck. Everybody loved it.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
wow,
this made me happy.
This was a work trip right for that, right?
This is
like you can write this whole thing off.
The whole thing gets written off because I had people play Rock Runners. It's for real. So that's pretty cool. But I did miss doing this, so glad to be back.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I went and saw a couple movies. I saw a third movie last night. We were keeping the dog down here in the basement with a very loud science fiction movie, something brand new that I'll probably be using for recommendals this week.
Oh, does it have someone in it named Piss Schnat?
Yes, it does, as a matter of fact. Did you watch it too?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. All right.
I probably will, but I
can't wait to talk about it because I have some problems with it, and we'll talk about that on Wednesday. But went to the theater and saw two movies that are only available in theaters. First off, the Sparks Brothers. Not going to surprise anybody who knows me, but I'm a huge fan of Ron and Russell Mael, better known as Sparks, a band that's been around since the early 70s, but has never really enjoyed the kind of success that really blows up. Like they had a hit with Cool Places in the 80s with Jane Whelan. They've had sporadic, songs every now and then that kind of rise a little bit on album rock radio. Bigger in the UK, bigger in other countries.
Oh, these are the guys with the cool mustaches and stuff. These guys are awesome looking.
Yeah, well, one guy has a cool mustache if you think Charlie Chaplin / Hitler's mustache is cool. Although these days he's not doing that. He's doing a really thin, like that director, thin mustache.
Oh, okay.
John Waters.
Oh, John Waters mustache. All right.
Yeah, but they've been a favorite of mine because they kind of mix that humor and humor and rock and roll in a really cool way. And this documentary, is done by the Edgar Wright, who you know from many other movies, like
the Scott Pilgrim and the Shaun of the Dead and all that.
Exactly, yeah. And the crazy thing is how many musicians you know and love who say, "Oh yeah, we love Sparks," and it's this underground band. So Patton Oswalt, Flea, Beck, Neil Gaiman, Fred Armisen, Andy Bell and Vince Clarke from Erasure, Simon Pegg, all of these famous people talking about, two of the guys from Duran Duran, John Taylor and Nick Rhodes, and they're talking about how, if you're on a tour bus with other musicians, sooner or later the conversation you end up talking about Sparks.
That's interesting. That's I honestly, you introduced me. I'd never heard of him until you talked about him about a year ago or 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, I think when I first heard about this documentary, which was 2019 or 2020 was when they started talking about this thing.
Yeah, and I'd never heard of him before either. So now you got me all piqued on this. I want to see it. For me, it's like, what it's like? It's like the New York Dolls, and I watched that New York Doll movie, which was all about the bassist and where he ended up. It's
Buster Poindexter. No, it was a different guy, right?
Different guy. Yeah, I forgot his name, but it was a really interesting doc. But I'd never heard of I know this is embarrassing because a lot of people have, but I'd never heard of the New York Dolls until then. So what I'm saying is I rely on Brian for my music knowledge. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Anyway, so great documentary. If you're a fan of the band, A+. If you're not a fan of the band, if like Scott, it's brand new to you. If nothing else, it will be a great story about a band that is always one mainstream hit that they don't want to ever do away from stardom.
Sure.
And why the heck does Ron Mail wear that Hitler mustache? The other thing that we saw this weekend was Zola. Sadly, not a movie about Arnim Zola, Toby Jones' character from the Marvel Universe, but it's a movie based on a Twitter thread.
What?
From a former stripper who, this whole movie is based on this viral Twitter thread that this woman put up years ago about getting taken down to Miami by this other stripper to make some money. And it's I know you've seen Spring Breakers. There's a lot of comparisons to like a black comedy version of Spring Breakers.
Like stylistically and music and that kind of stuff, or
stylistically and also subject matter. I mean, that has a little bit to do with pimping and how creepy James Franco was and stuff like that.
Sure.
It's great. It's really, really funny. It's funny, creepy, almost like a kiss kiss bang bang kind of action leading into more action, like bad decision made here leads into these bad decisions and this bad decision. But
was the Twitter thread like a back and forth story thread? Like they just made the story up?
It was a Twitter thread. There was a one person's account of what happened, and apparently the other person named like the other main character in the movie replied back on Reddit and said, "Oh no, that's not what happened at all," and made up this really unbelievable response story that's like, yeah, okay, we believe the Twitter thread person.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's great, but it's got a lot of people that you recognize from other things. Greg from Succession is one of the main characters in here, and he's always great.
I like that guy. Yeah.
Coleman. Oh, what's the guy's name? Coleman Domingo, who from Fear the Walking Dead.
It's my favorite camp stove, the Coleman Domingo.
The Coleman Domingo, it's so good.
Yeah,
yes,
I love it.
Exactly.
Cooks your meat.
He was in If Beale Street Could Talk. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Anyway, he's great. He's really, really cool.
Some of these reviews are blazing for this. People like it.
They are. It is really good, and it employs some of those funny, weird, like break the fourth wall kind of things, like symbols appearing on screen, and the thing pauses for a second, and then almost like it restarts the movie with this other character's account of what happened, and it's really cool. And I will say this: a movie about strippers and the two female strippers, and the only nudity you see is gratuitous male nudity.
Awesome. Take
Just
that.
a heads up.
Yeah, take that, everybody. Change your expectations. Boom,
That's
man
right.
wiener.
Prepare to see some ween and some ween that'll make you feel better about yourself.
Oh,
No matter what.
oh, good. No, that's
Yes.
good, because sometimes you're subjected to something and you're like, oh,
You're like, oh man, holy cow, Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Fake or not, you made me feel bad. Well
right.
done.
That's right. Anyway, so it's really good. Zola and Sparks Brothers, two big recommendations from me.
Nice early recommendals.
Can't use them for recommendals because neither one of them are streaming. They're not doing any day and date streaming stuff.
Sure. And that In the Heights and then that other thing are leaving soon. People should probably catch that.
Yeah, The Conjuring. Yeah, and I think Conjuring might be leaving today. So if you haven't seen The Conjuring, then get on it. I've skipped it. But In the Heights is
those
a
aren't bad.
recommendal.
Those Conjuring movies, they're not bad.
I hear they're not.
Okay.
Here's the problem: is I'd be watching them alone. Tina has zero desire to see The Conjuring.
I mean, sounds like Kim. She would not either. So
And The Purge is going to be another solo deal. If I want to see any of the Purge movies, I'm watching.
Oh yeah, The Purge. I've seen The Purge 2 is actually my favorite. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them have been pretty bad, and I hear this new one's pretty bad. So the only thing I'm interested in here is, I guess it goes. The concept is, this is just in the trailer. This time, when the purge ends and everyone's supposed to get back to their daily lives, it doesn't end. A bunch of people have decided we're going to keep doing this, and that's a great premise. Except apparently it's very poorly executed, according to reviews I'm reading. So I'll probably end up seeing it, but whatever. I for some reason I like The Purge. I like The Purge concept more than I like the films.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, Tina's so short. Another little short thing. Tina's and my AMC A-list accounts are back enabled, so expect a lot more quick movie reviews as we probably jump into a theater once a week again.
oh yeah, you know what I'm going to start reviewing? I got a book, a big fat coffee table book, all about the career and films of Ridley Scott.
Oh wow!
And
cool.
It's awesome. I couldn't not get it. I'm not even like a let's buy a physical book guy anymore. I'm usually like, get a Kindle version or something. I usually don't care, but this thing, of course, chock full of pictures and everything, just in depth. Blade Runner, Alien.
I think you watched Braveheart over the weekend, didn't you?
No, that was just a tweet.
I saw a tweet
yeah,
about.
that was just me screwing around trying to do
Okay.
a freebie drawing. So I pulled a quote from the internet. But in this case, like it goes all the way to current. I think Covenant may be the last thing they cover. So it's everything he's ever done.
Wow.
And it's so far really good. And it's a big picture of him sitting on the book going, yes, I'm Ridley Scott. Hello, yes.
Oh, I forgot he did Hannibal.
Yeah.
G.I. Jane. So
Oh,
are you going to be
many
going
movies.
through and doing like a watch through of every Ridley Scott film?
I don't know if I'll
that's
do
on,
that or not. Mostly because I've seen most of it. But maybe. I mean, I love his movies. So it's just really good. And I'd completely forgotten in this first chapter, they go into detail about him starting what business was it? I forgot now. He an advertising company out of school. Like, it was the first thing he did, and he partnered with his brother Tony, rest his soul. And it was so successful that by the time he made his first movie or was getting ready to be a filmmaker, he was already a millionaire. He had millions of dollars from just his startup business he'd made.
Wow.
I didn't know that. So he
I
was
didn't
like,
know that either.
F the business. I'd like to go now do what I want to do, which is make really cool movies. And he did. And he's great. Anyway, I'll talk more
very
about
cool.
that as I read through it, because it's really good. Okay. Dunaway time. Let's get him in here.
Dunaway time.
Yeah. I think he's home because he's... I could be wrong about this, but I think he's off today. They should, he deserves a day.
Yeah, usually if you're an office worker, you probably have today off.
I would think so. He also works, I think it's somewhat governmental related. Either way, he's here now, and now there's this music. Brian Dunaway, welcome back to the show for Babble Royale. How are you?
Oh, hi, Scott and Brian. How are
hi.
you guys?
Oh, you are definitely at home. I can tell it's your mic at home.
Is my mic at home? Is my mic at home?
Has a very warm, inviting quality to your voice.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like, do you feel more freedom today?
I do.
No.
I feel more freedom.
Since you took the freedom bath yesterday, feeling more free today? No?
I don't feel any more free today than I felt the day before, but thank you for asking. I think that's an important
Oh,
question.
but I will listen to Freedom Rock today, and yes, I will turn it up, dude.
Oh man, that's great.
I forgot about that.
I'm gonna
Freedom
listen
Rock.
to I'm proud to be an American. I'm gonna listen to that non-ironically later. We'll see how it goes. Hey, welcome back. It's good to have you here. We're gonna play Battle Royale today.
Hey, man, I missed you guys this weekend.
I
I,
know.
didn't miss your little post in the Discord server where you had where you guys hung out with some family.
Yeah,
I
oh yeah.
hid.
Oh yeah.
I hid from family. You're welcome.
Yeah, well done. You did the right thing. Hide from family. That's the
I
bottom line.
did a thing.
Yeah. And what was that thing? Do you want to tell us what was your thing?
Sure, it was give the dogs Benadryl so they don't freak the F out with all the fireworks. There's two types of people in this world. People who go, I like shooting fireworks, and people who go, I have dogs. Don't do that.
Yep. We're right there with you, the latter. We were in the basement with a loud movie turned up, and
Right.
our dog slept on the love sack the whole time, did not get freaked out.
So this was the first time we've been able to test Ripley to see if she freaks out or not, and she didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't even notice it.
Good.
They were going off. You could hear it in the house, pop, 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 pop. But she didn't care. She was just chilling.
I know.
And
It's like
I think the dogs were like terrified and exhausted because we left them with this Rover service for the trip, and it turned out great. It's this local couple, a dude and his husband living, I don't know, 2 blocks away is all, and they full time do this. They just always have about 12 dogs in that house, and they just are watching people's dogs. It's how they make a living, and we really like them, so we're like, yeah, we'll do it here. You have to come introduce yourself first, the way the service works. But then you just take your dogs there, and they're there the whole time. And I think they had a great time, but they had to have been overwhelmed. It was like, 12 dogs. Most of these dogs they don't know, obviously. And now that they're back, they all look a little shell-shocked. Just looking up at me like, please don't ever do that again. Like, they don't understand what happened to them.
I know. As humans, we don't usually focus in too much, but we've been told. No dog has actually come forward, but I've been told by many dog experts that dogs freak out every time you leave because they think that's it. That's it. They're leaving.
I think that's it.
They're
Now they
gone.
got to acclimate to a whole new set of whatevers, and yeah, Rainer's a mess today. But I'll get her back. She'll be all right. Anyway,
I'll get her back.
hey Brian,
Oh, hey, Scott.
why don't you, Brian Ibbett, explain to us what we're doing today and who might win prizes based on our performance?
I will. Welcome to the Morning Squirm, a back-and-forth trivia game where our players will match wits on topics that Cliff Clavin would have offered up at the Cheers bar. Scott and Brian are going to take turns answering multiple-choice trivia questions, and if they get it wrong, the other player gets a point. The player with the most points after 5 questions wins the prize for their contestant, and we've pulled a couple of contestants from members of the Tadpool that aren't able to listen live, a couple of international members of the Tadpool today. Scott, you're going to be playing for Vlado from Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne, not Melbourne.
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 Dunaway, you're going to be playing for Matthew from the United Kingdom.
Didn't I play for a Matt last time?
Let me see, because I have it here. You
I
played
mean, it's
for.
fine if I did. It's wonderful.
You played for a Chad from
Oh,
Wisconsin.
a Chad. I played for
And
a
now you're
Chad.
playing for a Matt.
Well, maybe it was on the Wednesday show that I think that's what we did. It was Matt on Wednesday last week. That's right.
Yep. Oh, maybe that's it. Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's correct. All right, so 5 questions, and I think, let me see, who won last week? I believe
He was
Dunaway
me.
won. I
Oh,
think
did he?
Chad won.
I would.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
we're gonna-
You're right. Chad did win.
We're going to begin with Scott for this one. Scott,
Yeah.
close to 1,000 men every year die in this odd way.
Oh my gosh.
Close to 1,000 men every year die in one of these ways. Is it falling off an ATV? B, autoerotic asphyxiation? C, accidental electrocution? Or D, choking on a hot dog?
Oh my gosh.
All those sound low.
Yeah.
like all 4 of them should be more than 1,000.
Absolutely.
Wow, my heart tells me go hot dog, but you know what? I'm going to go hot dog. They choke on hot dog.
All right, it's 4th of July being just behind
Sorry.
us here. The hot dog eating contest, very popular.
Yeah.
It is not choking on a hot dog. Brian, you get the point.
Damn it.
You don't get any additional points, but do you have a guess, Brian?
I'm gonna go with the ATV, even though that seems kind of low because people are maybe more paralyzed than anything. So I'm gonna go ATV.
It is not ATV. It is autoerotic asphyxiation.
Really? That
I
is
felt like
kinda
that's
high.
where you wanted
That
me
does
to
seem
go,
kinda
but I
high.
just was
1,000.
refusing to go there, and I don't know why my brain wouldn't do it. Damn it.
And
Yeah.
this is kind of like anything sexual related when you talk about guys. If we say 1,000, then at least 3,000 died.
That's right, exactly. Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's only the number that the few of them will tell you. You're always right about
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Men
Right.
don't talk.
All right, Brian. Let's see here. Well, speaking of choking on hot dogs, competitive eating king Joey Chestnut holds the world record for devouring 121 of which of these snacks in 6 minutes. So he consumed 121 of these in 6 minutes. Is it Twinkies, Snowballs, Yodels, or Thin Mints?
Yodels.
Okay, no one could put that many Thin Mints in. You would die. All right. I'm gonna rule that one out.
Right.
It just seems like if I was wanting to stuff something in my face, Twinkies just seem like the right way to go. I'm gonna go Twinkies.
I'm going to go Twinkies. Is the answer Twinkies? It is. Twinkies is correct. Yeah.
Damn. I follow him on TikTok, by the way.
On
Joey
Twinkies.
Chestnut?
I follow him on Twinkies.
Yeah.
Twink Talk.
He'll do.
Talk.
Don't use that app.
Don't go to
Very
Twink Talk. Don't go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
troubling app. No, he's interesting because his things are all about like he'll show himself just cramming hot dogs down his throat, like 20 of them, and then
He almost died like another 900.
900 times. But then he'll go, "Here's what I actually eat," and the dude's just like eating some salad. Like he doesn't eat the things he binges on, and he's like skinny. He's weird. That guy's weird.
Yeah. I wonder if after like one of the big hot dog competitive eating deals that he does every 4th of July, if it just passes right through his body, or if he throws up or anything like that, or if he
Oh, he's got to
just
purge it, right?
if it just processes, if he just has figured out his body's
He's
figured
got
out how to process
I
that.
assume they turn around and hork it into a bucket or
His
something.
body just ignores it. It's
Right.
like,
Oh,
ignore.
it must be 4th of July again.
Yeah.
Here comes a hot dog bun dipped in water. Ugh.
Oh God. Oh God.
Watery hot dog buns. Mm.
I
that's
hate
the worst.
that. All right. Well, Brian, you've got 2 points. Scott, this question is for you. This female fashion staple was originally created for gentlemen. Which of these was originally intended for gentlemen? Is it bra, stockings, high heels, or a corset? Which one of those was originally made for men, but
You're talking about a magazine, right? Not the product.
No.
what? No, I'm
What?
talking about the product.
The product.
Oh,
What
those
magazine?
products were made for men.
Yeah.
Yeah, what magazine are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I was trying to figure out because I thought you said a magazine. I don't know why I heard that.
No,
I
with
heard
the
magazine.
oh,
Maybe I have
you
a.
heard me say female fashion staple, and I guess there are staples.
There we
in some
go.
magazines.
Yeah,
that's
because
what it
I
is.
immediately
Yeah.
went the wrong place.
You're thinking of saddle stitching on a magazine. That's amazing.
So,
Yeah.
all right.
I
is it
subscribe to
bra?
high heels.
yeah. Before you even got to the answers, my brain said corset, and then you said corset, so I'm
Oh,
gonna
really?
say corset. It feels like something
Yeah.
dudes would do.
Is it corset? No, it is not.
Really? I thought that was a good guess.
I thought so too. Point for Brian, but Brian, do you have a guess between bra, stockings, and high heels?
Well, it's got to be high heels, right? I mean, short man syndrome's real.
Yeah.
It is indeed high heels. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Originally created for gentlemen of low height, of vertically challenged.
Vertically challenged.
Yes.
Great.
Cowboy boots, man. Those things make you tall.
You
Yeah.
can get dude
All right.
corsets now. There's lots of Instagram's always advertising like a dude corset. I don't know what they're trying to tell me, but it's happening every time.
Hide
I'm
your
on there.
fat.
Yeah. Hide your fat. Put this on.
Hydrofrat.
Yep.
All right, Brian, this one goes to you. And look at you. You work out of the 3 of us. You're the only one of us who works in an office. So you have a little bit of an advantage on this question. A recent survey showed that 90% of offices have these, and no one is the wiser. Is it two-way mirrors to watch employees.
Ugh.
Bastards.
I don't like that term, by the way. I feel like it's a one-way mirror because one way it's a mirror, the other way it's not. I don't know why they call those two-way mirrors,
Oh,
but they do
yeah.
call them two-way mirrors.
You know what?
But
That's a damn fine question. I'm
Yeah.
annoyed
Yeah.
by that. Yeah.
It's really a
It's
one-way
two-way
mirror, right?
It's
It
just
only
something that's
goes
a mirror
one
on
way.
both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mirror. I understand why they want to shorten it to something easy to say, but you're right.
Yeah.
Bad.
All right. So two-way mirrors to watch employees, programs to spy on their computers, hidden cameras, or fake thermostats.
Oh, interesting. Now phrase the question again.
Yes. A recent survey showed that 90% of offices have these, and no one is the wiser.
Now we do have some two-way mirrors, but everybody is wise to it. We have
They're aware of
cameras.
it. Really? Wait.
a
You've got two-way mirrors in your office, but people know about them?
Yeah, because it's not primarily to spy on the employees, but it is a place for the to watch for if there's trouble, like where they're taking money in. You have to have somebody watch to make sure
okay. All right.
everything's on the up, because you got a little buzzer. It's like, call the cops,
Yeah.
man. It's kind of like a bank in
Yeah.
that manner.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Hidden
Yeah.
cameras are probably a definite no-no. That's really high. I mean, you're going to get in trouble for putting hidden cameras, and somebody's going to find out for sure.
Yeah, you have to disclose that normally, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that would not cause a legal issue is those thermostats. And I think all of ours work, but I don't know. I'm too afraid to touch them.
So fake,
feels
fake
like-
thermostats is your answer.
That feels like the thing that wouldn't get you in trouble. You know?
All right. Is the answer fake thermostats? Indeed, it is. Yeah,
No,
90% of offices apparently have a fake thermostat in them. And,
There's of course the running joke during the summertime. We have a mix. We have men and women both in our office, and of course the women are always running heaters. They're like, "Oh, I'm cold. Oh, brrr."
Yeah. What are you saying
And the
about
dudes are
women?
always like, "I'm hot.
Yeah.
I'm hot."
Yeah, what are you saying? You saying women get cold too much, or are you saying men get hot too much?
I'm
What-
saying it's a running joke at our work. I'm not saying there's any validity to the actual facts of it. I've never
Right.
done any research. I'm
No.
just saying that is the prevailing thought.
Sure. You got some empirical evidence, some hands-on on the street experience. I get it. That is weird, and I don't understand why that is. Like, I would love an explainer for why there's fake thermostats.
I didn't think about it. I never thought about putting a fake thermostat, but I mean, it makes sense. But when in the hall so the kids can't touch it, you don't have to have that argument anymore. You know, you hide the Nest one, you put a fake analog one out in the hall.
I see. Yeah. Then your kids are over there cranking it up, but really, you've got the control.
doing anything.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Hilarious. By the way, the tadpole is still really focused on my my two-way mirror, one-way mirror discussion.
Oh.
Everybody's like, no, Brian, a one-way mirror is a mirror.
Yeah.
Because you only
can
have
see
one
one
way.
way.
Yeah, it's really the determination of you have one way to use it versus two ways to use it.
Oh, instead
Okay,
of
so
one
two-way
way
the
mirror,
use
see.
of it.
one
Oh.
way
Use
is
of the
to
two
see
ways.
through it. I think of
Okay.
it like a one-way street, right? You can
Yeah.
go through one way, but
Right.
if you try and go the other way, you're going to kind of bounce back.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to come back at you. You are going to do is see yourself. Yeah.
Right. And at one point, you almost should call it just a one-way window. Look at it from the other side.
There you go.
Yeah.
That sounds more like it, because that's
Glass
what I
half
was
full.
thinking. Mirror.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Think of it
Oh,
that way.
Mirror
that's
implies.
Yeah.
Mirror
A
part
one-way
implies that
window.
there's something's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
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 The other guy looking
Oh,
through.
well done.
It's the window. Yeah, we got
That's
this.
that is 100% the way it should be. A one-way window. Perfect.
A guy walk into a what do you call it? Interrogation room in a police
Yeah.
thing, going, "Hey, wait a minute, is that a one-way window?" We would all go, "What are you talking about?"
I'm going to make everybody use my vocabularies. That's what I'm going to do too.
That's awesome. All right, my turn, right?
I'm curious about what a three-way mirror is.
Ooh.
All right. This is the last question. And Scott, even though Brian Dunaway has already won, you need this. You need to win this one so that he doesn't sweep you.
Okay, I don't want to be
Oh.
swept. That'd be good.
All right, Scott.
Yeah.
What's the most popular day of the week for viewing porn, according to Google search?
What?
What day of the week? Your choices are, is it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday?
Okay, so the midweek stuff doesn't even factor.
Yeah, Tuesday through Thursday doesn't even matter. Which of those 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, is the most popular day for viewing porn?
I like the idea that somebody out there is worried they're not viewing porn on the right day and has to Google
Right,
search it.
exactly. Like, oh, I'm on an off day here.
Yeah. All right, I'll say. Jeez. I feel like it would be people would be bored, and so Sunday is a boring day. So Sunday.
So you're going with the Green Day version of why you masturbate.
Yeah, that's a green. Listen,
Right.
if Billy Armstrong, Billy Ray Armstrong, whatever his name
Billy
is,
Joe. Yeah,
Joe, if he taught me anything, it's that American idiots are bad, and then the
Right.
Sunday thing.
Right.
So yeah, I'll say
and we always have the time to listen to him whine.
Yeah.
It is not Sunday.
Damn it.
Brian gets the sweep. Brian, do you have a guess as far as which of the remaining days? Friday,
Well,
Saturday,
today's
or
again,
Monday?
it was Monday. What was it
Friday,
again?
Saturday, Monday.
I'm gonna say, I do like to look at the porn on Friday night. You've been working all week. You gotta chill out. You know.
Little, yeah, it's like blow off a little steam, so to speak.
Mhm.
Sure.
That's right.
All right, so Friday, also incorrect. It's today, Monday, the most
Monday.
popular
What?
day of the week to search for
Man, you
internet porn.
can't be looking at porn on the first day of the week. That's set your whole week in a bad tone, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
I agree. It's
Hell, it's Friday somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, this Monday's too hard to start.
I can't do this without some porn this morning.
Exactly. Another Monday morning meeting? Nah, forget it. I'm watching porn.
I don't
Oh
know
my
why
God.
this. I don't know why we're all
Oh my
doing
God,
that.
I'm never
voice,
gonna
but-
attend a Zoom Monday morning meeting again.
Yeah.
Everybody's pantsless.
That's true. Well done, Brian. You really killed it today.
You totally did.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah. you
So
swept the leg.
congratulations to Matthew from the United Kingdom. Hey, Matthew, you're getting the games we didn't give away on Wednesday. You're getting Verlet Swing and When Ski Lifts Go Wrong on Steam. But Scott, Vlado from Melbourne, you're not going away empty-handed. You're not even going away, technically. You're getting a copy of Men of War Assault Squad.
Ooh.
Yes,
Sexy.
so
How very
congratulations.
masculine.
Both-
Men
Yes.
of War.
Men
Assault
of
Squad.
War
Also,
Assault Squad.
Vlado Keycock, or how do you say his last name?
I
Is-
only said his first name, but
yeah,
sure.
but what a cool sounding like Russian
Totally.
expatriate name or something. You sound like a
Totally. He must break your Steam
yeah,
game.
he's going to assassinate all of us or something if he doesn't win something. So I'm glad you won something there,
That's
Vlado, and really like this form of the game. It's way fun.
Vlado for Vlado.
Hey, Brian Dunaway. Today at 3:30
Hey, Scott.
on its news shifted back to original time, we are doing the Boop Show today, so please tune in if you want to hear me talk about a game called, what is it? Oh,
Did you do Wildermyth?
Wildermyth.
Wildermyth.
Yeah.
I loved him on that 70s show.
Old Wildermyth. He was fantastic.
And I'm going to be talking about Hellpoint.
Whoa!
Wow.
Hellpoint.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
That's a Souls like Scott in space.
Oh, hey, I think I may have played
You have that one, and according to the Steam says, hey, these friends have this game. Scott does too, but he's played 0 hours.
Yeah, I don't think I played it. I think I installed the code and then never played it. So I'll be interested to hear what you have to say. That'll be tonight or this afternoon, depending on where you are. 3:30 Mountain Time, right here at frogpants.tv. So come join us and check out the show. We talk about indie games. Yeah, that's right, indie games on the Boop Show. All right, Brian, anything else you would like to say before we let you go?
No. Happy 5th of July?
Yeah, go
is that?
masturbate. Bye. All right. I mean, we assume that, but maybe the porn people are just, looking at the porn. They're not.
Just fascinated by porn. Just
Yeah.
some Monday morning porn.
I'm
Right.
not saying they got the whole plan. I'm just saying maybe they're just
Right.
like, oh, here's a
Be
glance,
like,
and now I can go to work.
I could really use to look at a boob right now.
I sure could use a booby. All right.
How about a booby?
We're gonna do one news story.
Oh, okay.
So enjoy this.
I don't watch the news.
It's today's news, brought to you by.
Overpriced Park City Burgers.
Yeah, they were way too
Ask
much.
for them by name.
Really good though. So this is, speaking of Russians and Ukrainians and things, this is pretty cool. So this place that's built into this resort, it's called crap, forgot the name. Dang it. It's built into the Westgate Resort. People know it if they've been. It's basically a burger / bar, they have alcohol and stuff too, but it's like a lot of really great food. And the food is good. Like the prices are high, but the food's really good. Anyway, all the employees are exchange college students. They're here for like a study abroad program. And they're all from like Ukraine, Russia. We met a lady from Argentina. Amazing bunch of, I say kids, but they're 22, 23. I guess they're still sort of kids to me. But they're awesome, and they were like, yes, but what is it I can take for your order, please? Like, it's a lot of that kind of accents. Fantastic. It's such a cool thing every time we go there. It's always these folks from like all over the world. It's awesome. Anyway.
Very cool.
Here's your first story and final and only story of the day.
Okay.
The Sandwich Police say seafood company lost approximately $10,000 worth of lobster after a local man turned off the compressor and oxygen supply to their tank of live seafood.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That
wow.
headline is a paragraph, by the way. It's huge.
It really is. And you lost me. Well, the whole thing was done to the soundtrack of Radiohead's Karma Police. I was singing Sandwich Police.
That's awesome.
Arrest this man. He cut off the air.
Oh, this reminds me. So we were listening to them yesterday. For some reason, they were on
Radiohead.
Yeah, some playlist in the car. And I got to thinking, and I made a mental note to ask you this, but then I forgot. But now you reminded me. So here I'm asking you now.
Sure.
Everyone has that time where even if you have the broadest taste in music, and my tastes are pretty broad, I like everything. There are times where you're still like, nothing. I'm not in the mood, not in the mood, not in the mood, right? You just can't find the thing. What do you do when you feel like that? What do you fire up or change?
Yeah,
or...
like what's the comfort food? No, what's the equivalent? Like
I don't know what to call it.
The common denominator, basically, no matter what mood this band always works.
Yeah, like if I couldn't, a couple years ago, if I couldn't find a video game that I wanted to play, I would play Diablo 3. If I couldn't find anything else I was in the mood for, I'm like, well, I know I can play that. And then I'll play that. So it's like that, I guess.
For me, probably Squeeze, the band Squeeze, because there's such a, again, huge library. They've been making music since the 70s and still putting out stuff. And I can put on a random playlist of Squeeze songs and totally be happy no matter what kind of mood I'm in.
I love that. I'm going to try Squeeze next time I get stumped.
Yeah, next time you're tempted, make sure to play some Squeeze.
Yeah. REM kind of fixed us yesterday, but sometimes I'm not in the mood for them. So I don't know. Anyway, this story about this
dude who turned off a compressor. Oh my God!
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So they responded to a Superior Lobster and Seafood to investigate a report of vandalism. Police say video surveillance from June 24th, at about 9:18 p.m. showed a male party illegally throw trash in the company's commercial dumpster and then proceed to turn off the compressor and oxygen supply to the live seafood tank. The investigation revealed a monetary loss of approximately $10,000 in damaged seafood. I assume that means dead, right?
Yeah. I
like
mean,
those
you
lobsters.
still need those. You still need the bubbler to go off and aerate the water or put oxygen into the water.
Yeah.
Oxygenate the water. Yes.
Ain't no lobster got time for that.
Right.
The suspect observed on the video was positively identified as Joseph Valdo. As a result, Joseph Valdo was arrested and charged with felony vandalism of property and illegal dumping. Valdo has been posted from trespassing at the business and is due in court Monday. That'd be today for his arraignment. Yeah.
Cape Cod, by the way, is where this one comes from. CapeCod.com.
Did you ever go there and do any paper stuff?
I have been to Cape Cod, and when my dad lived in just outside of Mystic, Connecticut, he was in New Haven. One of the days that he was working, my wife Tina and I borrowed his car, and we drove to Cape Cod.
Nice. Never been.
It was lovely.
Yeah, never been. Always meant to. Will one day, I suppose.
Beautiful part of the country.
Yes. On that note, we're going to take a beautiful break from the country. And when we come back, Steven Schleicher will join us. No Bill for the next couple of weeks. He's off to New York to visit family. And this is the time of year when everyone sees their family. That's where I was last weekend, and Brian the weekend before, or weekend before, right? But anyway, it's what it is. It's the summer of family reunions. And here in the States, anyway, it's easier to do that. So first time in a long time for people, and we wish Bill well. But Steven will be here right after this break. Brian, why don't you play a song during the break?
Oh, I don't mind if I do. Let's go to Pittsburgh to a pop punk trio called Eternal Boy. You guys will be able to see him this September because they're going to be part of the the Four Chord Music Fest with groups like Rise Against, The Used, State Champs, all coming up this September, the Four Chord Music Fest. And these guys are part of it. This is a band called Eternal Boy. They have a brand new video for a song that they released on their most recent album, which is called Bad Days Are Over. Here is Eternal Boy and the L Word.
The most sophisticated robots are not on the job yet. Here at Johns Hopkins University, a robot was developed that gropes its own way down the halls.
How's my suitcase working out for you?
The morning stream. You didn't say the magic word.
And we're back. Brian, that song again was...
That song again is called The L Word by the band Eternal Boy from their new album, Bad Days Are Over.
Oh, man. What a rockin' song that was. I'll go listen to it later. I always go back and check because, I don't want to miss out. Some of my favorite new bands or songs I've ever heard are things Brian played, and if I just skipped them, man, who would I be? What would I be?
What would you exactly?
Well, let's find out what.
Where would you
is.
be?
Where I'd be right here.
Steven Schleicher.
Hey, check it out, Steven Schleicher, all the way from Hays, Kansas, and he joins us today from Majorspoilers.com. As he does every Monday. Steven, a little early today, but thanks for being here early. How are you?
Hello.
Yeah, you doing all right? Is the boy driving? What's going on? What's going on in your life?
Oh, man, the boy is driving. We made him, he actually isn't bad.
He isn't bad.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that. He's not bad, and we're driving him around.
Who are you trying to convince? Us or yourself?
Let's just say it's a good thing that they have 50 hours of required driving before you can get your whatever the temporary license is.
That's cool. Oh, the learner's permit or whatever they call it.
Learner's permit.
No, he's got his learner's permit. It's the
there's like a temporary between that and the driver's
license? You get your learner's permit at 14, then you get your temporary license at 15, and then your permanent one at 16.
Oh, that's right. Because you guys also have hey, you're young enough or you're old enough to drive this tractor and help us make wheat or whatever. And they got that whole thing.
Or more like, you're young enough to drive this tractor.
Yeah.
Get out there.
Get to work, boy.
Right, exactly.
Well, that's great, and part of it's a fatherhood requirement that you have to go through this. So
yeah, it's been fun. I made him do a really long drive on Saturday. We went out for about 75 minutes, so it's like almost driving halfway across the state. So
yeah, well done. Wow. That sounds like fun.
Good.
Well, it's good to have you here, as it always is, to talk about some nerdier topics, comic books and the whatnot. I do need to talk to you about my current reading obsession, because I think I remember being told by you that people were not happy about this at the time. But I'm reading the Doomsday Clock DC event thing.
Right.
And it was, so for those who don't know what that is, it's basically a crossover of the Watchmen and the DC Universe. And that's sacrosanct, holy ground for a lot of people who see the Watchmen as this singular thing that should never be messed with or added on to. It's a little like the Bible, like some people see. Well, you hear somebody say, "Hey, how come we don't put new scriptures in that there Bible today?" And you say, "Well, you can't do that. That's the Bible. You can't touch it." It's like that with Watchmen, right?
Yeah, it's like adding a Leviticus chapter 15 verse 34, and God said to Moses, "Trust science, wear a mask, get vaccinated."
A little retconning. Okay.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing about that crossover is I think it's an interesting concept because in Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan's on Mars and he's like, I shall create my own universe and I will go and explore what that is.
Right.
And that is supposed to be that, in this crossover is that Dr. Manhattan created the DC universe.
Yeah.
This is what he's going in to explore.
Yeah, which is, I understand a lot of fans are going to go, "What? Come on now. You can't," and freak out about that. But I am really enjoying it, and I have no problem, especially in the comics, but I'm fine with TV and movies doing this too. Explore new ideas. Go, hey, what if? And then do me some what if. I don't have a problem with it. In fact, you've established so much multiverse in both Marvel and DC universes and beyond. Why not mess around and do some weird stuff? And I've loved the metal stuff and all that.
Some people just consider Watchmen that holy relic, like you mentioned a moment ago, but also so many people realize that Alan Moore has been kind of screwed out of the whole Watchmen deal.
Yeah.
And so just on that principle alone, they kind of want DC to stop messing around with Watchmen. And for those that aren't familiar, there was an agreement between DC and Alan Moore that after they were done with a regular run and DC was no longer going to publish Watchmen, that book would revert back to Alan Moore so he could do with it whatever he want. But DC, after the success of that book, has kept that book in constant publication through trade paperbacks and other forms. So in a sense, Alan Moore has no rights to anything that's happened. And now with DC continuing to explore what's going on in the Watchmen universe, it angers Alan Moore so much that every time they send him a residual check or they try to give him money for the movies, he just tears them up and throws them away.
Well, he's a caveman and weird, but I also understand and I also understand, some genius has the garnish of crazy and it's great and whatever. And I love Alan Moore's work. Everything I've ever read Alan Moore do is amazing content. I guess I would just say this concept of like exploring, like, I'm not going to spoil this in case someone wants to read this series, but in Doomsday Clock, they do a really interesting thing with Rorschach that I did not see coming. And you might say to yourself, wait a minute, didn't Rorschach, I mean, spoiler for a comic that came out in the 80s, but didn't he die in the comics? He did. So what is this? I don't want to tell you because I think it's rad how
he comes back and all he can do is emojis on his face.
I wish it was that simple. Poop. It's a very cool take, and these new characters, I assume they're new, the marionette and the
those were created specifically for this series.
They're awesome. They are very cool characters. Like, there's a lot of really rad stuff going on, and I don't know. I think it's great so far. I'm really enjoying it. I'm maybe 6-7 issues in, but
yeah, let me spoiler it for you, Scott.
Yeah,
they've done nothing with it since.
Oh, they just kind of let that lie, did they?
Well, I mean, look who the writer is, and I know he's very popular and people like him a lot. He also has a habit of, let me do this thing and then walk away and find something else.
Yeah.
Right, and get mad when anybody else tries to do anything with that, to evolve that story.
Yeah,
right.
It's really interesting. So anyway, if you use the DC Infinite app like I do, and I've just been devouring stuff in there, you really like it. But there is a difference between what makes people mad about Watchmen or makes it feel like this holy ground, and say something like the character of Venom, which Todd McFarlane created for Marvel, but then never got any kind of residual for, and still doesn't. But nobody gets mad when there's like a new twist on the Venom series. Nobody does anything. They don't go, "Oh, Todd McFarlane's rolling in his grave. He's not even dead yet." This sort of thing. But that's a
little bit different, right? Because Todd McFarlane and the rest of the guys that were at Marvel and DC, they left and created something even bigger than what they created with Venom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
In that extent, Todd McFarlane's like, yeah, who cares? I'm sitting here on millions upon millions of dollars from toys and Image Comics and other things.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Alan Moore is just deeper into whatever hole he digs into his cave to go deeper inside of it.
Right.
That's where he is. All right. Well, Alan Moore, maybe make something new. That'd be cool. Hey, Steven, let's get to it. There's talk that The Flash will end with season 8. That's a lot of seasons. I didn't realize we were already at 8 years of this show. That's crazy.
I know. And I don't know if you're watching it, Brian, but season 7 really kind of is showing its
you mean the Iris show? Is that what we're watching?
Man, I cannot believe that it's like, hey, let's do a show about Iris being pregnant and then not have Iris show up in the show at all.
Yeah.
So the reason why she wasn't in is because of the way the contracts were negotiated, that she was contractually not in that episode. Why they still wrote an episode that focused on her in that case is beyond me. But looking at Candace Patton and who are the others? We got Candace and Joe West and Caitlin.
Right? But no more Cisco, which bums me out because I felt like he was the most interesting character on that show. And
Carlos Valdez and Tom Cavanaugh, who plays Wells, they ended their contracts at the end of 7. Last year in 20 whatever last year was, who can remember? During season 6, everybody was negotiating their contracts, and Grant Gustin had negotiated his contract through the end of season 8. Mm-hmm. Jesse Martin and Danielle Panabaker and Candace Patton only negotiated contracts to the end of season 7. Now they have concluded negotiations only for season 8. So because they're only going at a season at a time, and because everybody's contract, or at least all the main players' contracts, suddenly are ending at season 8, I have a feeling that this is going to be the last.
It feels like a good time to say, all right, let's call it a clean break. With and even the dude who's playing Ralph Dibny, who's doing the best Jim Carrey impersonation ever, like having him on more would be great. But there's just the only comic relief is the occasional. Yeah,
there's a problem. There's a problem with Ralph Dibny in that the actor who played him had a bunch of let's just say not very good tweets.
One of those.
He got socially removed from not only Twitter but also from the show.
Gotcha. Okay.
What were the nature of those tweets? Do we know what those tweets were?
He's apologized for them.
Oh,
Hartley Sawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, James Gunn, same deal. He's fine. He's all back. It's all good. Making whatever.
Cover it nicely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Canceled. Everybody canceled.
Wow.
Hey, well, all right. So that's going away. Yeah.
In film, he played Ron Batty in the Blade Runner Holiday Special, which must have been a Funny or Die thing.
Oh, it had to be. Right?
Yeah, he was doing a bunch of stuff with them.
I want to see that.
I do too. Whatever it is, I want to see it.
You got me with that. No Lovecraft Country 2. People are pissed, or season 2 rather. People are pissed about this because the first season was beloved and very good. Seemed like they could keep going, but they're not gonna. Why? What's going on?
Well, so the book that the Lovecraft Country was based on was only a single book. It's not a series.
Yeah.
And so that should have been kind of maybe a first indicator. But the Misha Green, who has been working on a lot of season 2, was, letting out little hints and clues along the way of what they had planned for season 2. Apparently they had a lot of the stuff written, but then HBO was just like, no, we're not going to follow it, and we're not going to continue with this. I don't know why, because it was a very popular show and did get a lot of attention, especially when you look at Black actors and actresses in horror-themed movies. You don't see a lot of that where they are the primary leads. But HBO just decided, no, we're not going to continue with that, and just shut down production of it.
That's a bummer, because that was a cool, very interesting, cool show.
Yeah, especially if you go and look at her Twitter feed. She's been releasing more information about how the world of Lovecraft Country would have been different in season 2, in that basically there was a reset button that they set with the magic that was released, where now Black people also have the power to have magic.
Yeah.
And so the United States would have been kind of reset and divided into 4 different areas. One of them was, I forget what it's all called, but it's like the New Black South or something like that. And so it was going to be, the South that was primarily controlled by, Black people. And then you had the American West, which was the native tribes were in control of that. And then you had this thin strip of, white America, where all these zombies were at. So I have no idea what they're going to do beyond that. But if you go and check her Twitter feed, you can find some other things that she's tweeted about the show had it been into season 2.
And is there any plan for a follow-up book? Because maybe that's all we need. Maybe you just need...
Not that I have ever seen anything from Matt, what's his name? Matt Stone, I believe, is the writer's name.
Yeah.
It was a very good book. It was written, 3 or 4 years before they even talked about doing Lovecraft Country as a TV series.
Yeah,
so my guess is if he really wanted to do something, there would have been a sequel by the time that the first season had dropped on HBO. I'm sorry, Matt Ruff. Matt Ruff is his name.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That reminds me, they just started production on that Last of Us adaptation on HBO.
Right.
For the game, yeah. That looks great. Pedro Pascal in the main role. And I forgot the girl they announced plays Ellie. Oh, man, I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be great. Yes, the Matt Stone from Trey Parker and Matt Stone Dice Tomato. Yes.
That was the only thing that popped into my mind at the moment. Matt Ruff.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay, well, that's all well and good, but not great. But also, hey, it stands on its own. It's this amazing season of thing, and you'll never...
Does it, will it be a satisfying conclusion? Because it was a hard sell to Tina. It's on our list to watch, but it's hard to describe to get Tina on board to watch it, so...
Yeah, she's not usually just like, hey, Supernatural, I'm in, right? You got to kind of...
Yeah, so,
convince her.
A little bit, yeah.
The premise of Lovecraft Country is, all these Lovecraftian horrors, which, drive people crazy and are out there in the world. How do Black people deal with Lovecraftian horrors when, they live during these era of Jim Crow and their daily lives are very much worse than Lovecraftian horror?
Right.
And so you end up seeing what Matt Ruff does in the stories is he takes these Black protagonists and really takes all the inherent racism and all the horror that is in Lovecraft's writing and just flips it on the ear, where Black people are like, at least in his book, are like, no, we're not having any of that. And really step forward and not only put an end to the racism around them, but also through the destruction of Lovecraftian monsters in the series, they're putting down Lovecraft's racism as well.
Yeah, it's such an interesting, it's such an interesting combination of like social commentary and like.
And there's some very scary moments in the series.
Oh yeah,
I mean the TV series goes in. I mean, it follows the book fairly faithfully, but they go in different directions with that are scary. I mean, if you're not a fan, if Tina's not a fan of body horror, I would avoid that, because there's a person who literally does a passing for white by changing her body, and it gets very gruesome in the way that happens. There are some little monsters that chase one of the Black girls in the series, and I think they are super frightening. So if she's not into that, then I would.
She'll do anything except like really like hostile kind of level horror. HOSTEL, not HOSTILG.
Yeah, there's not gore porn for the fact, for the fact of violence. I mean, it's all motivated, and they try to portray, or I think they do a very good job of portraying how Black people had to deal with racism during the Jim Crow era.
Yeah. You want to watch a racist dirtbag sheriff get shredded by an eldritch horror freaking demon dog or whatever. It's awesome. It's so good.
All right.
I mean, there's definitely comeuppance for the racism.
Yeah. But, they definitely lean into, they're not afraid to go. And also, this is tons of social commentary. But guess what else it is? A lot of kind of gore in the horror movie business. Like they go all in. So it's really interesting. Anyway.
All right.
What else?
Keeping it on the list.
Yeah, you should. Comic sales did real well during the pandemic, it turns out. I'm not surprised by this, but how well?
Well, it's really surprising because, comic book shops and even comic distributors shut down. Comic book publishers told their writers and artists to, put their pens down and not work for, 3 or 4 months out of the year before things started opening back up. But thanks to comic book sales and thanks to trade paperback sales and thanks to a lot of kid comics, comic book sales actually rose in 2020 by 700,000 or $7 million? Yeah, $7 million.
Wow.
In
good.
2020. So it went from 1.21 billion to 1.28 billion in 2020. Digital comic sales also played a part in that digital comic sales had about a $10 million increase from the year before. So things are looking really good for comic sales in 2020.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. I feel like this, my resurgence of just wanting to read them all the time happened then, and I'm still there. I read them every night, and I can't get enough. So I'm happy to hear that. I mean, that's just good. That's just good for everybody to know that there's growth there. And that there's no stagnation or whatever, or there's less or whatever. Because as much as I love that the mainstream world has embraced the MCU and everyone loves it, even if they never read a comic. That's great and all, but I still love the source. Like, I want the source to continue to be rad, because to me, it would be the worst crime in the world that you just move forward with a bunch of movies about heroes that we already know, but comics just end up in the dumper. Like, I would hate that. So this is good. Yeah, it's good news.
Well, and I think it's the accessibility of digital comics really helped this year, as graphic novels and being able to order stuff through Amazon as opposed to single issues really helped out a lot as well. And I'm hoping, because it's almost double the number of digital comics that were sold in 2020 compared to all of the other years previous. Usually it's fairly flat and stagnant, but seeing almost a double digit, not a double digit, but a 200% increase in sales on the digital side, I'm hoping shows that more people will stick around for digital comics going forward.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how many people know, because I don't think they advertise it very well. How many people know about these two apps? Like, how many, or these two main apps? There's certainly others, but Comixology, the DC Infinite, and the Marvel Unlimited, all three of those are incredible. It's Netflix for comics. Like, it really, truly is. And I can't imagine life without those things now. Like, I just love them. There's so much to binge and go back to, and things you missed and things you didn't hear of, and revisit stuff you love and whatever. Like, it's amazing. And I just don't know how many people know that you can even do this shit. You know,
I can't keep up with all the stuff that I put in my list in Marvel Unlimited to read. Such great stuff.
I love it. So anyway, hopefully more of that will continue to be cool. Finally, X-Men 1. Yep, never heard of it before. Brand new comic coming out of Marvel. X-Men number 1.
Finally getting their own title.
Yeah.
Wow, good deal.
Yeah. So that's hitting this week? What do we need to know?
That arrives this week from Marvel Comics. This is kind of the the X-Men went and formed, or the mutants of the Marvel Universe went and formed their own society on Krakoa, and they've been doing their own thing. And then they had the X-Men Gala event that was going on, and there was a murder at the gala, and now all heck is breaking loose. And of course, there needs to be heroes that step forward and continue to protect the mutants of the world. Introducing X-Men number 1.
Oh wow! So I saw Lady Wolverine, but I think that's what's her name.
That's X-23.
Oh, is that who it is? Okay, she's very Wolverine-y in this.
She is very Wolverine-y, yes.
She's got the yellow suit, and the ears, and the whole schmear going on there.
It's cool to see Sunfire. I watched their whole little motion comics trailer for the new comic, which I dig. I totally dig that they're doing
I love these. Yeah, that's great. And they look at that. It's, 300,000 views on this thing or something. Mm-hmm. That's good. I don't know. I'm such a proponent of please let comics always be around and never go away. Please.
Yeah.
Like, where else
I
am
don't
I
think
get this?
they'll ever go away.
Like, they can't, right? You can't.
No, I mean, it's a legitimate art medium, so there's no way that it will go away.
All right. Because I'm finding...
Now, it may evolve, right? I mean, so, a lot of people think that comic books are just capes and tights, but, I mean, look at European comics. Mm-hmm. Look at your favorite Scott manga from overseas, and, just look and see what the independent comic book publishers are creating. And they're doing stuff that's not always capes and tights related, and there's some fantastic stuff out there. So comics will always be around. It just may not be the type of comics that you prefer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like we're having a bit of a heyday, and I don't know what that actually means. I think I'm just having one, but maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
I suspect that in the next couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing some mainstream media pick up on the comic book sales, and once again, you'll see the headlines: "Comics just aren't for kids anymore.
Yeah.
Comics do great during pandemic."
Comics are back, everybody. You heard? Comics are back.
Right.
Yeah. Can't wait for that. All right. Well, there's plenty more going on over at Major Spoilers, as always. Is there anything in particular people should be checking out right now?
If you are a fan of the alcohol, Brian.
I'm
sorry. If you're a fan of alcohol, as you know, Brian, many people are.
No, you got it right the first time.
We have a brand new feature in the So You Want to Read Comics for people that are looking for comic book recommendations. This week, it's all about alcohol, and Jonathan has a couple of comics to recommend that either deal with the history of alcohol or talk about alcohol in various forms, in comic book form. So people can go check that out. So You Want to Read Comics, the alcohol edition.
The best comics to read when you're drunk is what I was hoping you were going to say.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Well, that answer is always Watchmen. We'll come full circle here.
There you go.
By the way, your header just reminded me. Happy 15 years, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Jeez.
Thank you.
15 years of Major Spoilers. That's insane.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. That's about your son's just barely younger than this.
Right. Yeah.
Weird.
He's just under a year. Just under a year younger than the site.
That's crazy. Well, congratulations. That's a hell of a thing that you did there.
Thank
you. Lots of great content always happening over at majorspoilers.com. Major Spoilers on Twitter. Steven, have a great day. Any advice as you leave?
I would tell everyone to stay hydrated.
Oh, okay. Great. Man, how much longer do I have to look at Michael Bolton on this? I'm going to delete that image.
Confused Michael Bolton from Wednesday's Recommendal.
He's just staring at us, man. That guy.
Love is a beautiful thing. What am I doing here?
Captain Jack and the Tortuga. I just think of his stupid Captain Jack song.
Right.
All right.
This is the story of Captain Jack Sparrow.
Those guys are great, dude. Those guys are great. I was listening. I had Lonely Island on in the car, and that song's pretty fine. Pretty clean, I suppose. And I got cousins and stuff in the car. Or I guess it was just Carter. I don't remember who was in there. And I'm cranking it, and then the next song up is what one was it? I think it was Jizz in Your Pants or one of those.
Oh, right.
I was like, oh, right. I can't play this in the car with mixed company. Turn that off. Yeah, Carter is not my cousin, Claire. You're right.
Oops.
Yeah. All right. That's it for Steven. Big thanks, Steven, for being here as always. We're going to now play you a mashup. This is a TMS Origins mashup about everyone's favorite guy, dude in a drive-up trying to get a fish sandwich while he's trying to do a morning show thing. Now, this is interesting because the origin of this just happens to be the time that I played it. So there's a lot of extra stuff here, like an intro for the show. And it's interesting, Brian. This is back when we did intros before we started based on headlines and things, but not after the show was over or after we collected titles from the listeners. So this...
Right, because sometimes those intros, we'd never get to the story that we were introing.
Right, you'd say... Bill Murray does a thing with a thing, and then never
got to the Bill Murray story. Yeah.
So we've learned. But anyway, here is an Origins episode. Big thanks to Jamie, who is recovering still, and conveys his continual thanks for everybody helping him out with his GoFundMe. That worked out great. And J.K. Grammer for your help as well. Here it is, the Origins of Too Early to Get a Fish Sandwich. Coming up on TMS, it's not me, it's you.
Game of Thrones will spoil readers.
Snoop TV is coming.
The Pope likes his pizza.
Russo brothers are also are all up in the next 2 Avengers movies.
Fitness Geek.
Jury duty and more on this episode of The Morning Stream.
Wow, deteriorating conditions for sure. It's incredible to see what's happening out there. Let's start off with our traffic jam, Jimmy. He's out in our Lynn Solar mobile track, and he's been everywhere from Pennsylvania now down through Towson. Hi, Jimmy. What's the latest?
Hello. Please hold forward to the next speaker.
Hey, is it too early to get a fish sandwich? Oh, next speaker. Hang on. Oh, Candace, we live? Whoops. Hey, I've been in the car since 4 o'clock. I'm starving. I'm just getting something real quick. Hey, it's too early to get a fish sandwich?
Okay, well.
Yeah, can I get a fish sandwich? Stay put. It's bad out here. I've been out since 4. Stay put, folks. Trust me. I didn't know we were coming live. I'm sorry.
I told you we were coming to you. All right.
I'm in love with it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the morning stream. TMS for short. That guy's my favorite new person in the world.
Conditions are bad out here, folks. You can't get a fish sandwich anywhere. You might as well just stay home.
Yeah, I capped out this bit just to keep here.
Hey, too early to get a fish sandwich?
Too early to get a fish sandwich? Y'all got a fish sandwich in dirt? That guy's great. He has a bright orange beard, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. That was interesting. Part of the commercial, or not commercial, but the news spot. Actual news spot. Guy screwed up. My Iceworm sent that in. Oh, it was Iceworm. He sent it in.
Iceworm.
Oh, now we know who to give some credit to. So
good
that's
old
cool.
days.
I clipped this out just from this.
Can I get a fish sandwich?
Just as an alt.
I know. It's like I'd forgotten that he asked that a couple times during the.
He's into it, man. Dude was into it.
Really wants that fish sandwich, but it's only 9 a.m. Come on, man.
No, no kidding. Iceworm, by the way, is still a regular listener of the show and also does a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff for us. And he's great.
Yeah, like he still assembles all of the music that we play into a handy page that you can go to at coverville.com/TMS if you want to see any of the music we've played and find out where to buy it.
Yeah, so Iceworm, we don't say your name a lot, but you're a stud. We appreciate your hard work.
You are.
And I don't mean stud as in you're going to get, farmed out for your sperm or anything. I don't mean that.
Well,
I mean, maybe
that is our next Patreon level.
I don't want
to mention that to you.
Well, you never say never, but, just in case. All right. Well done, everybody. We've done a show, and we appreciate you being here to be a part of it. Thanks for letting us have a couple days off because, had to happen. And things are pretty clear till August for me. I got, we're going, I haven't told you. I think we got a Vegas trip planned for my anniversary, Kim and I's anniversary.
Really?
Which this year will be 28 years.
Yeah.
No, wait.
29, Scott.
29 years.
Because you and I, we got married the same year, and Tina and I just celebrate our 29th. Right. So I'm hoping that this is your...
Yeah, I've got the math wrong. 29. Woo, glad you said that.
29 years. Yeah. I have some recommendations. You got to check out Area 15. Put that on your list right now.
I actually did when you mentioned it the other day. So we are definitely going to do that. And I might need to ping you for some other food ideas.
Yeah.
But it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. And, Kim and I been at it think of that, dude. Next year it'll be 30 years.
How long have you and Kim been at it?
This is how people always go, man, you must have had kids young. And I think they assume, Because we did. And I was 25. She was 22 when we had our first one. And I think people hear that and go, oh, is it one of these high school pregnancy things? This is like, I'm like, no.
Oh, no.
We're married. When we're married 30, I will not have a 30-year-old. I will have a, whatever she'll be, 28, 7, whatever it is. Anyway, the math's hard. Let's not do it. Let's move on and say to the fine folks at home that we really appreciate your help at patreon.com/TMS, and we'd love you to continue that. It's a brand new month, so if you've never jumped on before, now's the time. Get great benefits and rewards every day that you don't get other places. If you go to patreon.com/TMS and just check us $1 a month or more, you'll find all kinds of reasons over there, so go check it out. And for everything else, frogpants.com/TMS. Send us your emails, themorningstream@gmail.com. That's going to do it for us. Brian, do you have a song we can play at the end here?
I do. And it's funny because this person made this request and didn't even, they buried the lead basically. But Nate W., who goes by the name Tenacious Warden in chat and on Twitter, says, hello, gents. Today, July 1st, 2021, is my wife and my, 1-year anniversary. I had a random cough there. Rogue cough. This has been our song since the beginning, and I would love to have it played for us on this special day. He says, to Steph, you're the greatest wife, partner, and friend a man could ever dream of. I'm fortunate to have met you, and this past year has been the greatest of my life. I love you, and I appreciate you. Your loving husband for forever and 8 days. Signed, Nate. Now, he wrote that, he planned this request a month ago, June 5th. And yesterday, he and his wife welcomed a brand new baby. They tweeted to us. So congratulations to Nate and Steph, and welcome to the world, Arrow Antonio.
It's an amazing name.
It's really a great name. And congratulations, you two, and good luck getting any sleep for the next few months.
Oh, yeah.
Here's their request. The song is a cover of Elvis Presley's Can't Help Falling in Love, covered here by a woman who works a lot with Postmodern Jukebox, producing, doing a lot of vocals for them. She's got such a great voice. Haley Reinhart, here's her cover. From her album Better from 2015, here's Can't Help Falling in Love.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Hey, let's meet at Applebee's.
Ooh.
Hey,
maybe not.
For some riblets.
How about I don't meet you nowhere for nothing?
Oriental chicken salad.
Hell yeah.